I am going to utter 3 words. Dead by Daylight. Wait, come back, I see you running. I thought I was gonna get injured again. Lady Vat, wouldn't it have been funny if you had to heal me 3 times in a row? Here, let me save Tapper. I've been playing Dead by Daylight since the year of 2017, back when I was 10 years old. Yes, that just made some of you feel really old, and I am sorry. Dead by Daylight is a game that I play almost on the daily, still to this day, 8 years later, almost 9 years later, Jesus. No matter how many times they fuck up a bug fix or add like a shitty chapter or like whatever, I keep coming back. And in all honesty, the more I think about it, the more I like ponder why I couldn't get into Texas Chainsaw Massacre, other ASIM games. I think it's just because of Dead by Daylight's simplicity. I find the repetitive task of going around doing generators, getting chased, or getting murdered, or even escaping to just be so oddly comforting. And I know I can't be the only one, no matter how many people, like, hate the game, for very, very valid reasons, I gotta say. The code is like spaghetti, and bugs happen all the time. Everything is like never balanced properly, and survivors nowadays can be some of the most entitled people ever. I say that as a survivor main, by the way. I am a survivor main. I could play 5 times in a row, get blinded and fucked over every single time as killer, and still be willing to queue up for the next match. It's like sticking your penis in a pencil sharp. Okay, terrible analogy. The point I'm trying to make is that no matter how awful the game can treat me, I just keep coming back like some sort of Stockholm syndrome. I keep getting excited for the next update. I keep getting excited to see what happens next with the game. I don't know how. It's like the game just beats me with a bunch of bats and goes, fuck you, Fern, fuck you. And I'm still sitting there begging for more. DBD's current worst issue is the survivor entitlement, but I'm not gonna go far into that. MintSkull uploaded a crazy good video on it that you should watch if you want more details on that. Point is, the developers have been bending to survivor wills so that they don't even have to try and play the game to win. They can just fucking win, yet survivors are still losing just by giving up, which is crazy. The entitled survivors, the developers giving them free handouts on how to win the game, yet them not taking it. The spaghetti code, all the bugs, the killer tweaks, the bully squads. Why have I not quit the game yet? I think it boils down to the fact that I'm privileged. I was able to start playing the game in 2017 and collect every DLC, get a bunch of blood points, level everything up as the game grew and got updated more and more. So I get the privilege of just kind of not caring. When I say that, I mean I really care about the health of this game. I want to see it improve. I want to see everything get better. I want to see no more entitled survivors. I want the developers to listen better. But I have the privilege of being able to queue up for 6 matches in a row, have all of them be shitty, maybe even shittier than the last one each time, and still not lose anything, still not get mad, still not feel any sort of anger towards it, because I didn't need the blood points. I didn't need those items. I already had a shit ton to begin with. And I've actually noticed this as a trend among like content creators that focus on Dead by Daylight. A lot of them are like me and have been there from almost the beginning, or a couple of years ago, and have still had a lot of time to grow their accounts before even posting anything on it. You can probably see where I'm going with this. I think it is a new player experience issue again, and that is intrinsically tied to entitled survivors and them quitting the match. How are new players supposed to level up their characters and figure out perks when all the other survivors in the match are just disconnecting as soon as they go down? This is where I say that I have privilege in the game, or you might have some privilege in the game as well if you've been playing for years as well. DBD has been making some good changes, in my opinion, to the single player, new player experience in general. With the new perk descriptions, I thought that was like a really, really good change. Props to them. I'm very happy they updated every perk description to be a lot easier to read. If you're enjoying this little ramble, please consider subscribing and liking. Thank you. I love that Dead by Daylight has a shit ton of perks. I don't know if that's like a hot, controversial opinion or something, but I think it's one of the game's major strengths, with the caveat of having to own and understand all these perks, which is a crazy caveat, I know. But it feels like no one is ever able to recognize this to its full potential because of the meta in the game. which is why Chaos Shuffle is my favorite modifier in the entire game. Not being able to pick your perks and just forcing the game to give you random perks, that makes the player experience somehow a million times better. If you find Dead by Daylight to be getting stale, getting really annoying, being unfun for you, that's valid. That's very valid. Your opinions, I hear you. You're very right. But take it from me, since I've been playing the game for so goddamn long, maybe try shuffling your perks up. I know that is like the most basic suggestion ever. I'm talking mainly Survivor side right now as a Survivor main. But I know as a killer, things are a lot different. With killer, you might have to have a set combo of perks in order to make it so that killer is actually effective and doesn't get trampled on. I get that. When I'm playing DBD as a survivor, there are two goals in my mind. One, help my team. Two, have fun. That's it. Dead by Daylight is at its best when you're not trying to be the next Noob 3, when you're not trying to be all these content creators that loop around. I see a lot of new players jump in, try to replicate that, and then immediately disconnect from the match when it doesn't go their way. That's not how the game works. This is, again, why I'm stressing. I can't stress enough the importance of switching out your loadout a lot of the time and just fucking around with different combos, no matter how many perks you have unlocked. I find that that makes the game so much more fun when I just choose a loadout of perks that I never would normally use. Either I figure out a new favorite perk of mine, or I create a wacky combo, or I just get some really weird matches, and that's the fun of it to me. And I hate to be that guy, because as much as I dislike it, tunneling, camping, that's not against the rules of the game, and in fact, sometimes it's necessary for killers to have to do that to secure at least one kill within a game full of, I don't know, survivors running all meta perks. Yet survivors will get mad at killers for doing it. Hell, I've even gotten mad at killers for doing it. But the difference is that I don't go in the endgame chat and start yelling slurs at them. I just say GG each game. The developers have a lot to fix in Dead by Daylight. They have a long way to go. No one is arguing that point. We can all agree with that. But us as a community within DBD, we need to contribute to that too. I don't think Dead by Daylight's community is as toxic as everyone says it is. I mean, yes, there are a shit ton of voices within it screaming at killers, being like, I hate you! And then killers screaming back, fuck you! But in my experience, for every fuck you, there's like 5 people coming over to you to say, GG, well played, you did good. Good luck next match. Now, all of this sounds like I'm saying, don't take the game seriously at all. You can take the game seriously and still be just like a good sport and have a great time. You can play as Springtrap and put on the most evil endgame build and kill everyone right at the end. You could play as Astree and run the killer for like the entirety of the match. And in these scenarios I'm describing, yes, the game isn't gonna feel particularly fair because I don't think the game will ever be fair. Some maps are inherently killer-sided, some maps are inherently survivor-sided. Sometimes you'll queue up with a squad of 4 survivors with flashlights. Sometimes you'll queue up with a skill check doctor. And that's okay. That's fine. Those are all valid ways to play the game, no matter how infuriating it can be to be blinded multiple times in a row or fail every single goddamn skill check on the Gideon meat plant. The takeaway I want everyone to have from this ramble is yes, keep pushing the developers to improve the game better. Keep asking for these fixes. Keep pushing them. But take these matches on the chin. Please. You're not gonna have fun with the game if you just disconnect as soon as you get downed. You're not gonna have fun with the game if you just run the same meta build over and over and over and expect to win each time. I stream the game a lot on my Twitch, and I've started doing something when I get a little annoyed by a survivor I'm chasing or playing with, or a killer I'm going against. I compliment them, saying out loud to myself, hey, that was like a really good play, or like, wow, you earned that, you really earned that one. Any small shit like that. It's something that helps me take all these matches on the chin and never get really seriously mad about them. And in my opinion, the only way you can grow at this game as a player is to take all these losses on the chin. The more you're able to think about the type of plays the people you're playing with are making, or how they're playing the game, what they're doing, no matter how bothersome, how annoying, or how minuscule it is, the more you think about it, the more you start developing counterplay ideas, the more you start developing these ideas to mix and match these different mechanics in the game to create your own little set of fun. I think this is how I've been able to stick with the game so long. No matter how toxic parts of the community can be, no matter how entitled survivors can be, no matter how annoying some killers can be, I don't dwell on any anger towards any of their playstyles. Well, except for survivors that disconnect immediately after going down. You guys need to stop doing that. But I dwell on the way they played the game, except the entitled survivors. And the more that I think about the way these people that I lost to play, the more that I start thinking about ways I could have saved it, perks I could have been running, different techniques I could have used in the middle of a chase, and suddenly I'm improving again. If you were to take away anything from this rambly video, I want it to be this. Whether you've been playing for 5 years, you're new to the game, or you're thinking about picking it up, I want you to go into your next trial and just not expect any sort of outcome. Switch your perks around. Watch what the other players in the trial are doing. And most importantly, don't fucking disconnect as soon as you go down!